Good morning and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants event. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I'll be your host for today. Happy World Ocean Week, everyone. This is always a week we look forward to here at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants because we are bursting at the seams with events with ocean scientists and researchers and conservationists and explorers from all over the world. We are teamed up this week with the Explorers Club in New York to bring all of these events to classrooms across North America and all over the world. If you haven't been to our website in the last little while, get over there, get to exploringbytheseat.com. You can find all of the ocean events that we have coming up all week long and get in on some of that action with your classrooms. In fact, this morning, we've already had a couple events. We connected with Andy, who took us on her amazing expedition, 2 years around the world, diving and exploring our wild ocean places. We talked to Ranva, who took us deep inside the earth, cave diving and exploring places that few people ever get to see. And this morning, we're going to take a little virtual field trip out to Nicaragua, and we're going to connect with the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Learning Center and their amazing Nicaraguan Sea Turtle Project. Now, if you've been hanging out with us the last year or so, we have made multiple trips down there to meet the incredible community team who are moving, monitoring nests, releasing baby sea turtles, doing all kinds of incredible conservation work down there with incredible success. And so today's plan is going to be a little bit different. The weather's not cooperating today, so for safety reasons, they're going to stay close by to the ranch, but we're still going to get an amazing demonstration. We're going to play some Kahoot. We're going to meet the team. We're going to ask questions. We've got some awesome video clips to fill in some of the gaps as well. So here we go. I want to bring in some of our team here. We've got Dr. Pamela Fletcher joining us this morning from the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Learning Center. We've got Martine as well joining us. How are we doing this morning, everybody?
Good morning. Thanks so much for having us, Joe.
Of course.
Good morning, Joe. Excited to be here.
Yeah, good to see you, Martine. Good to see you, Pamela. And I think maybe we should bring the team in too. Let's grab them.
Sure.
Here they come. Buenos dias, team. How are we doing today?
Julito, que digan buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Buenos días.
All right, excellent. There they are. Well, why don't we let them take over for a little bit? Martine, I think you'll do a little bit of the translation, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
We'll see where the event takes us.
Sure. Let's do it. Julito, que principien y que digan los nombres de cada una y quién son, si pueden, rapidito.
Ok. Comiencen pues, chicas.
So we're going to introduce the team. They're going to say their names, and then we'll go from there.
Días, mi nombre es Ana María Parrales. Buenos días, mi nombre es Belki.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Araceli, él es Anciel y ella es Chari, muy conocida por Chari. Chari, buenos días.
Okay, so they're all saying good morning. They're a little shy, but Anna and Belki, we have them. They are main lead ladies. Araceli is our mama. She's the one that takes care of the entire group organization and development. And she's holding our newest members, which is Ariel, the little boy, and Chari, the little girl. They are our newest members to the team. And then we have, to the right of your left, we have Jenny, and we have Cindy, and also we have Belkis Jr. And this young lady started, like 5 years ago, just the same age as the little one you see on next to Ada. So, they're very excited. They're always very happy and excited to do the work and learn and teach other community members. Okay, Julito, que principien.
¿Lo puedo ver?
Ya.
Empezar.
Saludos de Nicaragua. Les saluda el equipo de conservación del proyecto FCOLC en la isla Juan Venado.
She's saying good morning. We're the team from the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Learning Center from Nicaragua Sea Turtle Program, and we're here to demonstrate you guys our work.
En este momento le vamos a hacer una demostración del trabajo que realizamos cuando andamos en la playa.
They're going to begin by showing us some of the work they do once we patrol the beach at nighttime and daytime. We're going to begin with showing you guys the protocols and how we flipper tag sea turtles. And we tag them, and it's important for the science and the education by flipper tagging the sea turtles. This lets us know when they come back, and if anybody finds them around the globe, the flipper tag has a code and an email that can let us know where they're at. So a flipper tag is, let's say in regular language, it's like an earring, like we put on there. But we'll go through the details and explain it to you some more.
El primer trabajo que realizamos cuando la tortuga está desobando,
The first thing we do once the sea turtle, we don't come up to her or we see her is we make sure she's okay. She's
lo que hacemos es observarle que no tenga lesión ni en su cuello, ni en sus aletas, ni en caparazón.
All right, we lost Martine backstage. Dr. Pamela, we might need you to jump in.
Sure, no problem. So what Anna is describing is the first thing they do is they make the observations of the sea turtle. They'll look at the shells, the flippers, and the head. Siga, Julio.
Después de observada que la tortuga no tenga ninguna lesión, lo que hacemos es proceder a enchapar. El enchape nos ha servido de mucho conocimiento para saber cuántas tortugas regresan a desovar a nuestras playas.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Anna just mentioned that the flipper tag is important, like I said before, to the science. It lets us know when they come back, where they go back. Sometimes, this year we have flipper tag 149 sea turtles. Out of 149, we've had 57 returning. So without doing this work, we wouldn't know, if they come back or what happens. So it's very important. It's a key factor for research and education.
Esta es lo que es nuestra chapa que se pone en la aleta izquierda, en el cual el código que ella tiene es NI 0084.
So we clean and inspect every flipper tag before we put it on the sea turtle. So we clean it, and after we clean it, we log it in. We read the code, and it goes into a log. The bell keys writes it down in the log.
Procedemos a desinfectar tanto la chapa como la aleta de la tortuga.
Next, we clean the equipment. We clean the applicator, the flipper tag, and we clean the area where it's installed on the sea turtle.
Procedemos a marcar la aleta.
So we continue to install it very carefully.
Después desinfectamos nuevamente y procedemos a marcar la siguiente aleta.
So then we clean the area where it was installed, and then we do the process again. We clean the flipper tag, we record the number, and we clean the applicator, and we go ahead and install it. So after that, we put one in each flipper. The odd goes on the right, and the even number goes on the left. And it's all gets recorded on a log.
Como nuestras tortugas visitan otras playas y emigran, hemos tenido el conocimiento de otras que han venido a nuestras playas también a través de lo que es el marcaje.
We've also ran into some sea turtles that have been flipper tagged from other places in the globe, and they've come up to our beaches. So all the people are doing it around the globe, and once we've gotten that information, we've contacted them and let them know that their sea turtles got into our beach.
En este momento, Candy procede al otro trabajo que le realizamos.
Next, we have Candy. She will measure the sea turtle. That's her second step. We measure the length and the width of the turtle. We measure the the head. Candy's been around with us for 3 years. She walks the beach at night and day. Candy's an amazing person. She's handicapped. She's legally deaf, but she gets the work done. And She's an amazing lady. Just because you have a handicap, hasn't stopped her from doing the work that she does and moving forward. And all the information gets recorded in the log, and so it gets recorded. So if and with the flipper tags, so if say this turtle comes up, say in 2 years, and we measure her, and the numbers are getting bigger, that means she's growing. So that's why also it's very important, our ID and a flipper tag in the sea turtle. We can monitor the growth of the sea turtle. We can also monitor if she's sick, many areas.
Después que se midió la tortuga, vamos a proceder ya cuando ella ha terminado de sobar lo que es el pesaje.
Our last thing we do is we weigh the sea turtle very carefully. We put the stack and we have a scale. So this gets done between the team. We usually have a team is four. We usually have two girls and two guys. Especially if we're working at night, we have the guys come help us. So we put her in there very carefully. We lift it up and then we weigh the sea turtle and we record the number. And this also tells us if the sea turtle has gained weight, lost weight, and we ID it because of her flipper tag that we have put on her.
La tortuga nos pesó 6.1 kilos. En el momento que la tortuga busca el océano, procedemos a lo que es ir a nuestro vivero a sembrar sus huevos.
So after she gets weight, she's free to go. We make sure she's okay, and they head back out to the ocean. And we hope to see her again, like we've seen 57 of them that have come back this year. Now we're going to show you guys how we checked her nest. How we checked her nest. After we relocate the nest, we're also going to show you guys how we relocate nest after we gather the eggs and bring it back to the hatchery. So most of this work of relocating can happen in the day, guys. It can happen at night. Mostly, we walk the beach at nighttime when they most come up. This year we've had some come up in the daytime, especially the last couple of months. So it can happen 24/7. We work 24/7. We work around the sea turtles. Then nature never doesn't have a clock or a watch, so we are on call all the time, 24/7, when it comes to this work that we do with sea turtles.
Buenos días.
día, en esta mañana vamos a mostrarle en cómo es la siembra de nuestros huevos.
So Belky's going to show us the process of relocating a nest. Belky's been working with us for 3 years. She's our biologist on the ground. Belky's an amazing lady too. She's never made it past elementary school, and she's learned all the processes through our workshops and training. She knows so much about sea turtles and all the process and protocols that students from the university come to work at the hatchery, and she's actually teaching them and showing them all these processes. And I'm also happy that she's going to be going back to school this year. So she's an amazing lady, always working hard. And like I said, she's teaching kids that are in college, and she didn't even make it past, to elementary school. So it's not what you do, with your time. Is how hard you want to work. Nothing works unless you work.
Como pueden observar, hemos hecho un nido de 45 centímetros de profundidad, donde nuestros huevos serán depositados.
So she's made the cavity 45 centimeters. It is narrow on the top and wider at the bottom. We try to mimic, mama sea turtles, the way they do it. Then she carefully puts the eggs. We don't drop them. We very carefully put them down and give them space between each other, just like the mama would do in nature.
Una vez ya que hemos puesto nuestro huevo en el nido, procedemos a lo que es taparlo.
Once we relocated the eggs, we continue to cover them. We put the damp sand first, because that's the one that comes out last, just the way the sea turtle would dig her hole. Of course, the last sand is on the top, and then we put the drier sand on the top, and we cover the hole. For this species, which is a olive ridley, the nest should be hatching 45 days after we relocate it. Different species are, take different days. Leatherbacks take up to 55 days to 60 days. The Eastern Pacific greens, 50 to 55 days. But this was an olive ridley, so we monitor the nest up to 45 days, and we have some hatching.
Una vez ya que hemos tapado nuestros huevos, esperamos 45 días para que nuestro huevillo eclosione y nazcan nuestras tortugas baby.
They mark the hole. It also gets put into a log, and I was saying, after 45 days, we should have some hatchlings. It could vary. It could be 44, 42. It could go over a day, and so forth. So next, we're gonna check a nest that was planted, 45 days ago. Hopefully, there'll be some sea turtles on the ground. Like I said, Mother Nature, we can decide for her. So we'll see if we get lucky or not, and we'll go from there.
Después,
Ya, Julio.
Ya.
después de 45 días que hemos esperado, vamos a chequear los huevos que hemos sembrado.
Que le ayude al chat y decirle.
Que se ayude a Charis.
We're gonna try her good luck, our newest member. But Charlie's in kindergarten, and she loves to go to the hatchery. She goes every day after school with Anna and Belky. She loves sea turtles. She's going to be our newest future biologist or researcher. But she loves to be there. She likes to be involved all the time. Like I said, and some of the girls like holding the sign, like Jenny, Uniski, and they started just like Chatty 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And they love to be there. So she's gonna try her luck. We'll see if some of her babies hatched. She knows how to do it. She goes around in a circle. And she carefully goes and digs the sand out. And she wants to see if there's some babies.
No lo saqué. No lo saqué. No lo saqué.
Well, as you guys can see, not
Bueno, hemos visto que a nuestros huevillos todavía les faltan para que eclosionen.
so they're not ready yet, guys. They haven't hatched, so there they are. It could be any day now, but they have not hatched. So what we do is we cover them back up, and we'll check again tomorrow, since it's been 45 days since we relocated the nest.
Cuando están así, que no han eclosionado, esperamos a 3 a 5 días para que ellos eclosionen.
Oh, Belkin just corrected me. They don't check the next day. They check 3 days after. We don't want to be opening up the nest every day because of the temperature. So she corrected me, and they check 3 to 5 days after. And if they're ready, they will come up on their own. Usually they do come up on their own when they're ready.
Dale.
Volvemos a taparlo.
You gotta get Chatty some tiny little gloves.
Esperaremos los 3 5 días. Esto depende a la temperatura y el clima que tenemos ahora.
She's saying they'll check 3 to 5 days. It all depends on the weather, the climate. The rainy season's coming up, so the temperature gets a little cooler. So they'll check it periodically, but they will hatch one day.
Gracias al proyecto FCOLC, en estos 4 años hemos tenido mucho conocimiento, ya que aún siendo personas de la paz, este conocimiento estaba muy lejos de nosotros.
She said, thank you very much to the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Center Center. They've been working with sea turtles for 3.5 years, going on 4 years. They've learned many things. They've educated the community. They've educated kids. They love the work they're doing. We have a very good success, on the hatchlings. Dr. Pamela Fletcher can go through those numbers later on. So they say thank you for having us, and look forward next time, and hopefully we have some hatchlings next time, Joe.
All right, excellent. Well, it is always a pleasure to visit the team. They're such an amazing group of hardworking women, and they're always so excited to join us and share the work that they're doing. And I know the success rate with the 4 species of sea turtles that nest in Nicaragua, I know it's up over 90%. So that's the ultimate kind of testament to their work, to have a success rate that high of hatching turtles.
Yes, it is amazing work they do.
All
They
right.
got great hands. They do it with love and and care.
All right. Well, we're going to switch to a little Q&A action. But before we do, I want to play a little Kahoot together with our students. Let's find out what they know about sea turtles. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to bring the Kahoot front and center. Here we go. So classrooms, if you visit kahoot.it, it's then going to ask you for a PIN number. And I have that PIN number right up there for you, 919-0268. So kahoot.it. And then there's your PIN number, 919-0268. If you have an individual device at your desk, well, that's a nice, easy way to join. If not, your teacher could put this up at the front of the room. You could shout out your answers to him or her. If you're at home, I know we always have students tuning in virtually. You can just scan that QR code with whatever device you have handy, a tablet, a phone, whatever it takes. I see students starting to come in now. So I'm going to do a few questions here with the team while we do have a couple minutes as students join. So the first one came in from Miss Andrews' crew, and I'll bring Dr. Pamela in as well. So they want to know, how do they find the turtle eggs? How do they know the turtles, where they're going to be laying those eggs, and how do they find them?
Right. So this is part of the love and care that the turtle team do every day during turtle nesting season. There's 9 kilometers of beach that the team walks every evening. They'll start when the sun is setting, and they walk the beach constantly in teams. They take turns. They'll leave at different intervals and then walk down the beach, take a break, and sit. So 9 kilometers is 18 kilometers to get there and back. So they see the sea turtles when they're coming out of the water, and they'll go ahead and they've located the nest, and then they'll do what you saw earlier today. They'll get the monitoring of the sea turtle. They may not get to all of the sea turtles because you've got so much beach that they're walking. So they'll see the tracks that are going up along the beach area, and they'll know that there was a nest based on the way the tracks are, and if they can tell that the mama actually put a nest down. Sometimes she'll just come up and she'll turn around and go away, and other times she will put a nest down. So they go and they look for those nests, and then they'll take the eggs out for safety and put them into the hatchery.
All right. I'm going to take one more question. We're bringing a camera class before we play Kahoot. Miss Jockman's crew is joining us. They sent a great question from Peterborough, Ontario. Let me make them nice and big so they can wave. There they are. Hey, Peterborough.
Hi.
All right. Go ahead with that question. We wanted to get that question in before we do some Kahoot.
Richard?
Why do sea turtles bury their eggs?
Why do sea turtles bury their eggs? Oh, maybe?
Yeah, we got that.
Oh, okay,
Perfect.
sorry.
No, yeah, good question.
Yeah, super question. So somebody in the classroom, do you have an idea why they might be doing that? They don't just want to leave them out on the beach, do they?
Priscilla, what do you think?
Because maybe they want to protect them if someone might step on them.
Somebody might step on them. There's animals that might like to eat them. Yeah, so this is what we think. We don't talk to turtles often, right? But we see that they lay them in, both the terrestrial and the sea turtles. They'll lay their eggs in the sand. Super question and good answer.
Yeah.
Awesome, Peterborough. Okay, let us go and play some Kahoot. Let me bring that Kahoot full screen. There we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, still students sneaking in, but we got to get going. We got to get the Kahoot because we want some more Q&A action. And then we're going to wrap up today. I'm going to share a little video clip of what we weren't able to do with the ocean conditions today. So we will share a little clip at the end as well. So how many species of sea turtles are there? Do you think there's 3? Do you think there's 5? Do you think there's 7? Or do you think there are 9? How many species of sea turtles are there? 3, 5, 7, or 9? We've got about 5 seconds to get that answer locked in. All right, a bit of a spread, but that correct answer is 7. We have 7 species of sea turtles. Let's see what our leaderboard looks like right now. The Dandy Dingo is holding down that top spot. Let's go to another question, a true and false. 6 out of the 7 species are threatened. Is that true or is that false? 6 out of the 7 species of sea turtle are threatened. So with endangered, threatened due to human activity, 6 out of 7 of those species. All right, that is true. Good job, crew. The Dandy Dingo held that spot for another round, but our next question comes in. Which species doesn't nest in Nicaragua? There's 4 species that do, but which one doesn't? Is it the green? Is it the loggerhead? Is it the leatherback? Or is it the hawksbill? So which species doesn't nest in Nicaragua? The green, the loggerhead, the leatherback, or the hawksbill? All right, it is the loggerhead. The loggerhead does not nest there. They've got the green, the leatherback, the hawksbill, and the olive ridley, which you heard Martine talk about a little bit earlier. The fuzzy wolf has taken that top spot. We have a true and false to wrap up. The team puts a flipper tag in each front flipper of the sea turtle. Is that true or is that false? Do they put a flipper tag in each of those flippers, or did they just put it in the one? Who remembers from our demonstration? Is it true or false that it goes into each front flipper of the sea turtle? All right, good job, crew. We learned that it is true. They do put a tag into each of those front flippers, which helps to identify them in the future. In third place, the yellow rabbit. In second place, we have the Dandy Dingo. And holding down that top spot, do we have a shift? Is it someone new? The Mighty Yak has snagged that top spot right at the end. All right, good job, crew. Thanks for playing a little Kahoot with us. And let us go now, and we'll switch 100% to Q&A action. I can see that we've got questions coming in via the chat. I can see that we have lots of camera classrooms. I'm going to start with a quick one from the chat. Mrs. Craig's 2nd and 3rd grades, Jacob in his class, would like to know, do you name the sea turtles that you tag?
Sometimes we do. In the past, we've had competitions to come up with names for our sea turtles, but not every single one. We do use the flipper tag numbers to track them, but occasionally we will have a name. If you want to suggest one, put it in the chat.
All right, perfect. Let's get to some camera classes now, and let's bring in their classrooms, but do keep those questions coming in via the live chat, and we'll work on as many as we can. Virginia Beach. We have some high schoolers joining us in Virginia Beach. Let me bring them in and let's see if they have some sea turtle questions for us. Here they come. OLHS, how are we doing today?
We're doing great. You guys have any questions? Marshall? No. Marshall actually did sea turtle research here in Virginia Beach. Or actually it was in Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Very cool.
You guys have any questions?
What is the largest species of turtle in the world, and where is it primarily found?
Did you hear that?
Okay, I heard that. Yeah, so they're wondering about the largest species of sea turtle and where is it primarily found?
So, who did the research on the sea turtles?
Marshall, he's all the way in the back corner.
Let me make a finger. There he is.
For the largest?
Marshall thinks it's leatherback. Yeah.
And then what was the second part of the question? I'm sorry, my audio isn't great.
Where are they usually found?
Where are they normally found? Well, leatherbacks, right? Those are the biggest turtles and they are global travelers. We know that from some of the satellite tags. So these are different than the flipper tags. These actually have a transmitter that is communicated through satellites, and you can see some of those turtle tracks. What I do know for sure is that in Florida, we do have some nesting beaches that get really busy with leatherbacks. They'll nest multiple times. So there's some, as for high schoolers, right? There's one turtle that may nest up to 5, maybe 7 times per season. So is it one turtle laying there, multiple nests, or is it different sea turtles? We don't always have all of that information, but that's more of a cluster. So around Palm Beach County in Florida.
All right. Thanks, crew.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for a great question and great work, Marshall.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to go to Mr. Shattuck's crew hanging out with us in Chalk River. How are we doing today?
Good. And just wondering, what would the vision of a turtle be like?
Yeah, great question. The vision of a sea turtle. So our turtle team in Nicaragua, in the fall of last year, we had this conversation. So you can see some of the team in the video. They have blue shirts on and with somebody else with a white shirt. And what they noticed when they were wearing light colored shirts at night, the turtles had a different reaction. And the thought was because they could see the movement of anything light. So the blue shirts, we had those made immediately. And so the light dark component of sea turtles' eyesight, they believe from their experience walking those beaches every night that it is quite substantial with the light and the dark.
All right. Great question. We'll come back your way, Mr. Shattuck's crew. I'm going to grab another one online, then we'll go back to a couple more camera classrooms. Tessa in Mrs. Madising's class has an interesting question, and it's Ryan. Or sorry, actually, we'll do both. One from Tessa and one from Ryan. So Tessa wants to know, how do the turtles know to crawl right away after they're born? And then Ryan wanted to know, can you tell from the egg it's a different species of sea turtle?
Yeah, Martine, do you want to answer the second one about the eggs?
Oh, you're on mute, Martine.
Sure, yeah, we can tell by the size. So the sea turtle egg, the different species. Like I'll give you an example, the leatherback, the eggs is bigger, and then the other really the eggs medium. The hawksbill, the eggs smaller. So we can tell by the size of the egg what species it is. Great question.
Yeah, very cool. And what about when they're born? How do they just know to just do their thing, crawl towards that ocean?
Yeah, super question. So this is the thought is that they are attracted to light, which is why, again, in Florida, places with big, tall buildings, they like to dim their lights or at least cover them from the beaches. So when the hatchlings come out, they don't get confused walking towards the light of the buildings. They'll go out to whether it's the reflection of the moon or the brightness that they have at the evening time. Most of the time they're hatching out in the evenings and they'll head out to sea.
And another thought is that we think is the smell, the smell of the ocean, the breeze. So when they come out, if they go back, they're going to go towards land, and they can also hear, especially the waves. So we're not sure, but, the minute they come up, they go running towards the ocean. So, we know that we can hear the waves. We know that we can smell the ocean. And like Dr. Fletcher said, the light.
All right.
Yeah, and in Nicaragua, just at this particular area, if you haven't looked at a map, and it's León, Nicaragua, so the Pacific side of Nicaragua at a nature reserve, there are no inhabitants on the island. So there's very low light levels, and that getting out to the sea is not the same as some of these more populated areas where there's buildings and streets and other things. So we're very fortunate at the nature reserve where the hatchery is located to have that natural type of environment.
Okay. Let's head over to Alberta. Mrs. Plant's class is hanging out with us today, grades 4, 5, and 6s.
Wow.
How are we doing today? The junior crew.
Big class.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a question.
Yeah, we'd love it.
Stella. Oh, they're getting shy.
Can you repeat that for us? Just closer to the camera. Maybe your teacher can help out. How do we know?
How do you know the turtles that come to your beach are your turtles?
Okay. So how do you know that when the turtles come to the beach, they're your turtles?
Right. Super question. So one thing that we learned earlier was the flipper tags. So when the mamas, if we're talking about the mothers coming up to lay their nests, we may know from the flipper tags that are on her little arms, her flippers. And I think then maybe we shouldn't call them our turtles. It's the turtles that come up to the beaches that we are actually monitoring, and we are trying to do some conservation and protection. So you bring up a good point where they're not ours, they're everyone's. And that's where what the team in Nicaragua do is it's conservation for the turtles that are shared resources that travel. We don't even know where because we've never done a satellite tag, but they do come back. Now we know we've had some returns. they come back to the same nesting beach that they did a few years earlier? Super question.
All right, very cool. Thank you, Edmonton. All right, we've got some students hanging out with Miss McNeil. They are in Lethbridge, Alberta. Let me bring them in front and center. There they are, nice and close.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hi. How many turtles have you tagged in total?
So as of right now, in the turtle program in Nicaragua, there's 440 sea turtles that have been tagged over the 3.5 years that we've been working in this area, the ladies and the girls that you've seen today.
All right, very cool. Thanks, guys. Miss DeBlas's crew is hanging out with us. They are backstage, but I'll see if they want to unmute their mic. Otherwise, I do have a couple questions from them in the chat. If they're not able to unmute, I can put some of those questions in. Okay, let's do that. So they would like to know some advice, because they're in Canada and not close to beaches, but there's got to be things students can do to help turtles, even though they live in Canada.
Right. We talk about global climate change and loss of habitat and pollution. So the choices you make every day, whether it's your carbon footprint or how you choose to, for example, get a bottle of water. Are you refilling a bottle? That's long-term use. So there's things every day, no matter where you are around the globe, that you can contribute to habitat protection and then reducing pollution where they are. Whether it's rivers or waterways that move that debris out, or you are inland. Joe, I know I see the team. It looks like they're moving around. Sometimes when we can take the boat out, I just wanted to bring up that there's habitat change occurring right where the team is standing. This area is typically filled with water. It changes because of the tide, but you know, because you've been watching us for so long over the years, that the estuary is very, very low right now. So yeah, that whole area behind where the team is standing, it fills up. So if any of you are seeing boats behind the turtle team, that's because the water usually comes into this estuary area. So related to the question that was just asked, any debris that might be in the estuary can be swept out. And then, you know, as that water moves and sediment moves in and out, we're seeing changes to the habitat that are tied to whether it's global change, local effects as well.
Yeah. Well, before I play a video, I would like to take a question that just came in on YouTube, and this is for our team in Nicaragua. And they're curious what it is about sea turtles they love so much. So maybe there's a member or two of the team who would like to just, you know, talk about what sea turtles mean to them, why they get so excited about sea turtles. I'll bring them up nice and big.
Okay. Julio, por favor, una pregunta de una persona en el internet. ¿Qué cosa? Sí, la pregunta es, ¿qué cosa, por ejemplo, Ana y Ara le gusta más? Tiene mucho amor por ese proyecto y las tortugas. Y Chari también, así ella quiere hablando.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Araceli. Soy una de las personas fundadoras de este proyecto. Podríamos decir la más vieja pues del grupo. Y la verdad nos llena de mucho gozo. Y como dice Pamela, Ana es mi hija. A través de nosotros, a través de mí, ella ha obtenido lo que es el conocimiento desde pequeña, lo que es la conservación de tortuga marina. Y en estos 4 años hemos aprendido, ¿verdad? Lo que es el enchapado, lo que es la medición, porque en aquellos tiempos de atrás, aquellos años atrás no se hacía eso.
Okay, I'm trying to write in the chat. Oops, un momentito. Is that Ana is describing her position with the team. And so she tends to be the woman who is responsible for coordinating all of the girls, all of the women, and anytime that there's captains, maybe some men who you see in the background here. Ana is her daughter, so their love of conservation in the place that they are from, Las Pinitas in Nicaragua, it's related to, this is their home and this is the conservation. And also the fact that she's learned how to tag and monitor the turtles. There's been some knowledge gained by the team. Gracias, Julio. Ella quiere hablar un poquito más.
Bueno, lo que más me gusta y lo que más me ha gustado es poder dar a conocer a otras personas el cariño y el amor que hemos obtenido para nuestras tortugas marinas en la conservación, en la concientización y sobre todo poder enseñar a mi descendencia que las tortugas se protegen para que tengamos muchas tortugas en el mundo.
Okay. And I'm just going to put the notes in the chat as well if you can see those. So Ana said what she likes the most is to share information with others so that other people really build knowledge and love and understand the importance of sea turtles so that there's more sea turtles around the world globally. Gracias, Anita.
All right. Very, very cool. So, Pamela, I think what we should do now is normally we would have, after we saw the egg demonstration, we would have hopped in the boat and headed to the hatchery, which is a great facility with dozens and dozens of sea turtle nests. And then when we get lucky, when we head out there, we get to see a sea turtle release. So I queued up a little video just to kind of highlight that the conditions weren't good today. The weather wasn't good. So for safety reasons, we didn't go out in the boat. But what do you say we take a look and see the final little process, heading to the hatchery itself, and then we'll see some of those turtles making their way down the beach.
Joe, I think it sounds great, and I hope the classrooms and all the participants do too. Join us one day. We'd love it.
All right, I'm going to cue that up. So just give me 1 second. I'll tuck some people away, and I'm going to bring up this video file from my desktop, and you should see it loading now.
Hatchery, it's got lines all in there, guys. Every circle we have a nest. So imagine how many babies we're gonna have. We're gonna do this, like the demonstration. This is real. Belky is gonna excavate the nest. Here they are. We have we have 48. Number 48 is going to ser, ¿cuál número es? 100,000, digan 100,000. 100,000. So we'll do a countdown. Excavating the nest. Julio, aquí.
The success rate is what we call it, where if we've planted 100,000 eggs, how many baby sea turtles have actually hatched out? And our program is extremely fortunate because of the care of the women and the girls every day checking nests and trying to purchase nests to put in the hatchery, that the success rate for last year was around 90%, which is over. It actually was a little bit over 90%, but that's very high. So we are very careful about reducing those vulnerabilities at this life stage. So again, super question.
Yeah, 90% compared to nature, barring of course human interventions and poaching, are much lower, just by the very nature of things.
All right. Let's bring everybody back in here. I know Martine, it looks like we lost Martine, but his signal cooperated just enough. We got some great translation. We got to meet Martine and hear a few answers from him. And there we go. That was a really special event, the 100,000th egg being transferred to the hatchery. And then we got really lucky that day too with a great group of olive ridleys that had hatched. And we were able to see them start that crazy journey to the ocean. And Pamela, let's put it into perspective for the classrooms. How many babies actually reach adulthood?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I know usually every session we get that asked, and it depends on the species and where you are, where you are looking at, because we have certain protections all around the globe. Some areas consume sea turtles and other places have 100% conservation in these areas. We look at in Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, it's 1 in 10,000, but you'll see 1 in 1,000 sometimes, Joe, just because of the different factors affecting these turtles. And their life cycle, for many, they'll reach maturity 25, 30 years where they're really making more nests. So we've got to think in the long term as well. Even if we have good success and our hatching rates are high, what happens if there's something that occurs globally that impacts these turtles?
Yeah, well, one thing we know is it's not easy to be a baby sea turtle. It is a tough ocean world out there, but they have some pretty cool allies on their side in the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Learning Center and the incredible sea turtle team down in Nicaragua who are patrolling those beaches, moving those nests, and then making sure that those turtles get the best start they can possibly have.
Yeah, it's that team you see on the video there. They are not a huge team. They work really hard all year. We've noticed that there's been more nesting occurring throughout the year. We do have a peak season in the fall, which is wonderful because, well, they're super busy. I don't know that they would say it's wonderful, but they become very, very busy. Right now, it starts to slow down, but the more you look, the more we're seeing, and the conservation success, which I think all of us are really looking to do, is make an impact and have science-based conservation and outreach be a part of our programs with the FCOLC. But these are the people that make it happen, rain, shine, whatever it might take. So we're very thankful to have such wonderful partners.
All right, let's get a big wave from our team down in Nicaragua. Gracias, thank you so much for being with us today.
Gracias, Julito.
And then let's bring in the students. If our students want to get a little bit loud and maybe a big goodbye and thank you.
Hey, guys, ready?
Big goodbye and thank you from everybody who joined us today. I'm sure the students can hear you. Very cool. Happy World Ocean Week, everybody. And thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to sign off for today. Thanks, everyone.